What's up, YouTube?
Hey,
Welcome to
hey,
the late night. Welcome to the late night happy hour with Carrie Irene and DrSue. Where what comes up
comes out.
comes
I was
out.
I was telling
We're
my
so
friend that
glad
I
to
was
be here as always. We always got one person watching. Guess who? Me.
I was telling my friend that I was going
Hey.
to come on and say what this it's the late night Friday night happy hour with Carrie Irene and Dr. Sue on Saturday night or whenever we feel like it, y'all. There we
The extended version. Let me get the
go.
volume up just a little bit so I can hear you better. There we go. Yes, yes. So what we do is we just come impromptu live whenever we feel like it, basically, because it's our life and we grown and we do what we want to do.
Just saying.
Just saying, we just saying. And whatever comes up literally comes out, and we talk about that. We put a spiritual twist to everything because everything is spiritual. We come up with some practical, tactical, in the moment things that you can use or not. And we do also look forward to hearing the things that you're thinking of, what you're going through, tools you use, and that's in your toolbox, so that we can all expand. Okay, that's what we do here. Okay.
We have fun, y'all. Fun with stories.
Okay.
We give
Yes, we
advice when
do.
y'all don't. Listen, we give advice when y'all don't ask for it. We coach you do.
We tell
We
everybody business.
including yours. Just saying, whoever you are out there, we tell yours, but we always tell it to make a point related to what we are teaching because we are teachers. We're coaches. We are transformational coaches, but we are all about focusing on experiences and what we learn as a result of those experiences because everything I think so often we focus on mistakes and errors and I wish I had, but what we say here is that life presents you with challenges, yes, but they're always learning opportunities, and so the value in your experiences not whether you won, lost, failed, whatever, but what did you take away? What did you take away from that experience?
Yeah, because like we were talking the last time we were live, the whole premise was about integration. Oftentimes, more often than not, if you feel like the same things, you're going through the same things, seeing the same thing, dating the same people, having the same job, experiencing the same experience over and over again, is typically due to something that you've learned, something that you've even mastered, possibly, that you haven't integrated into your
Right.
everyday life and allowed to become who you are versus a tool that you use. Right?
Yeah. So what's coming up for you tonight, Carrie Irene?
Oh man, life is coming up. There's so many things changing. I was realizing today. I went live in my Sacred Queens group today, and let me just type this right if you're interested. Boom. And a smiley face. Um, I was going live in my group today, which if anyone hasn't seen the live I did in the Sacred Queen Society today, please go back and watch it because it is the funniest shit to me anyway. That shit was so funny. And let me put a pin in it about what's coming up for me, right? Because I said I was thinking about how I don't share a lot about some of the things that's going on in my life. But let me just say this real funny caveat right quick about the video. So I was going live and I was walking through the house, you know me, just all over the place as I always am and don't even care. But I just wanted to spend some time sharing my everyday life with, the Sacred Queen Society because I realized I just don't get in there and show them just regular shit. It's always like a point or invitation or a Zoom or, a coaching offer or, whatever. It's just never like, I'm up, my hair's a mess, I'm getting ready to do my face routines and I'm about to go stretch. Y'all want to come with me? So I was doing that today and as I go outside, I go outside and I'm like, yeah, y'all come stretch with me. I'm about to go outside and stretch. And I was trying to figure out where to put my mat because the sun was beautiful today. And as I was putting my mat down, I saw the imprints of Monique's tire tracks in the grass. and she was out getting some things, out on the town in the streets and getting some things, and I knew she was on her way back home. And the only thing I could see in my head was me live on Facebook massaging in the backyard, and the only thing that people see is Monique car coming smashing into me because she didn't know I'm in the.
That could have been an ugly scene. That
Yeah, I would have in viral, a viral ugly scene. Do you hear me? You know that people. Oh my God, I got so incredibly tickled. But the thing is, I was talking about me going out last night because last night, me and DrSue had discussed. We didn't even say we were going to go live last night, and I remember I had something, a prior engagement to go to. But I was thinking about how multifaceted life in general is, and how often we have strategy and definitions and criterias, descriptions, expectations living full time in our heads that we
mm,
never share with anyone. Yet when we
mhm.
interact with other people, we expect them to understand all the things that makes us up. When we tell someone we're busy, but they see us on, making memes on Facebook and comment and stuff like that, they don't know if you're in the car. They don't know if you're at work. They don't know if you're sitting on the toilet at work because you just need a little break. They don't know, exactly what's going on in your life. But, once we start to be more transparent about who we are and sharing, unfiltered who we are and what we do each day, we can start to let people in slowly and show them those parts of us in the appropriate rooms, of course, who we truly are. And that's one of the things that I've wanted to have. That's one of the things I am doing this year in my Sacred Queen Society group is being more visible in my rawest forms. When my hair is sticking all over my head, when my nose is peeling. Like today, I got on there, I thought I had a little boogie, but it was just like my nose was peeling
Another
from,
feeling.
like when you start wiping your nose, especially me being at work all the time, my nose runs mainly when I'm at work. And sometimes I don't have time to go all the way to the back to get tissue, so I use paper towels often, and it just makes your nose raw. Let's be real. So I was going through that, whatever, and I'm just, and those are the types of things that typically in the past that will stop you from moving forward. Or I can't go live right now to give this real good nugget because I'm afraid of what people may say about what I look like. Or I'm not going to give this advice because I feel like I'm not worthy to give it because of what people think of me. Or I'm not going to apply for that job because I don't have the experience in even though I know I instinctively can fulfill that job description. We let a lot of things that go on in our head those ruminating thoughts, those ruminating things to to allow us, one, to not go further in what we know we can do, but number two, it breaks down the communication that we have with other people because we always assume that they know more about us than we're even sharing.
That's pretty powerful. As you were talking, I was thinking about in our we have full stories in our head.
Oh yeah.
They have a
Mm-hmm.
beginning, a middle, of the an end, and they are stories that we practice. We practice the narrative. I'm going to say this, and he's going to say that, or she's going to say
Oh
that.
yeah.
And when we get to the person, and when we meet that person, typically we start in the middle of the story.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Even take yeah.
And we're angry or upset with them because they don't start in the middle. Well, they don't start in the
Mm-hmm.
middle because they don't know what the hell you're talking about, right? Because you have created a whole narrative in your head from beginning to end. You have already thought about what you're going to say and how they're going to respond. So even
Yeah.
even if they are to start with you at the beginning of that story, you can't hear them. And this is where, on the real communication comes in to being effective communication, because they can't hear, you can't hear them. If you
Mm-hmm.
already have the narrative running in your mind about what they're going to say, you can't hear them because all you can hear is your own voice in your head.
Yeah.
And even if they're saying something that is different, if they're telling you their truth, you still can't hear it, because even if you hear the words that they're saying, because your narrative is so deeply ingrained, you immediately assume that they're not being authentic, that they're not being.
Mm-hmm.
So you overwrite another narrative on top of their narrative,
Mm-hmm.
and then then you are pissed off, and you don't understand why they're looking at you like you have grown three heads. But it's because of the stories that we tell ourselves, and
Yeah.
I have to admit that I used to be really, really bad at that. It is something that I'm no longer in the really, really bad stage, but I still have to
Yes.
catch myself. I have to catch myself because sometimes when I am in conversation, I will hear myself getting ready to respond in my head, and they haven't
Yeah.
finished talking. And so the key I'm finding is to slow my own roll,
Mm-hmm.
to interrupt my own thoughts and tell myself to wait, let them finish. And don't wait to let them finish so that you can say what you've got to say, because you're not, if that's the space you're in, you're still not going to hear them. And so, what I find myself really working on is trying to quench the noise in my head just so that I can be free to hear whatever it is they have to say. And only when they finish do I think about, oh, okay, so now how do I respond to that? And sometimes my response may not even connect with what they said, but it is what their statement brought up for me. And I still
Right.
think that we have effective conversations like that as long as you're not superimposing your thoughts or your feelings onto somebody else, because you're running parallel in stories. You're not necessarily running the same in the same lane at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost like taking a screenshot of life. I feel like I don't know if it was us that talked about that, if it was another live I was in, but I was talking about how like what you're saying, because I have that same issue. You get so excited, you just and it's not like a disregard of what they're saying. It's just like this burning urge to connect, to verify that you understand, to share your experiences in the moment. But if you respond before it's complete, you are not giving a complete response, because
Right.
you don't even have all the things, and it could go in a more constructive way. And not to mention, sometimes the things that we want to share are really nuggets we need to be absorbing for ourselves, for that mirror work that we need to do so that we can apply it to our own selves, versus trying to project it to try to tell them something that they may not know. Because
Yeah.
let's be real, just because it mirrors something in you does not mean it's going to look the same when you show it to them.
I
Because the
agree.
mirror effect is only clear to you. It's just it's only clear to you, and I'm the same way. And it also reminds me of um, it was a video I made. I'm not gonna go into detail of the video. It's on YouTube. If you want to see it, you can go use it. But many times we respond based off all the time, not many times, every single time we respond based on what's in us, not what's
Yes.
said to us, because we cannot respond from a place of connection if it's not something that already happened. And if that conversation is present and your response is from what you had, that's not so present. So that's why it's so important to be present, so that you can maybe get a new idea or a new notion. And you can only do that by listening to someone else, because that other person speaking has an experience that you've never had. They
Right.
have a
Right.
perspective that you've never seen, nor will you ever, unless you hear and really identify and connect with what they're saying. And I love listening to people. I really, really do. It's amazing to me. Yeah.
Um, I'm laughing because I remember once saying to my students, I don't understand why you don't understand. It's perfectly clear.
Yeah,
It's
I
perfect.
don't understand why you
And,
don't understand.
and they said something that was so powerful I have never forgotten. They said, Dr. Collins, I mean, to set the stage, it was we I don't know, I had them doing an exercise or something, and the answers that they were giving me were like, and I just got exasperated. I don't understand why you don't understand. It's as clear as mud, really. Blah, 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 blah. And they said, Dr. Collins, we we know that you are very intelligent. And we know that you're an expert in what you do. And we appreciate that. But we don't have any idea what you're talking about because we don't have that experience. We don't know what you're talking about.
Know what you
All,
talking about, lady?
and
That's
I
funny.
had to stop. It's like they said it's clear to you, but it's not clear to us.
Yeah.
And when we are having conversation with the person, it is important, I think, to if you're conscious in the conversation, it is important to remember that your experience is not their experience. What you're seeing, two people can be looking at and are listening to the same thing, but they're hearing it differently because they're filtering it through their own experience. And so for me to put that story that I was telling in context, by the time I got to Georgia State University, I had been a correctional officer, a deputy sheriff, uh, had been practicing law for 10 years, all of this stuff. So I'm teaching the law and I'm hitting it. And it's
Yeah.
like, I'm saying what you don't understand. And they're looking at me like they got real quiet. You know,
Oh,
when people get real quiet, it's like super quiet. Everything about the energy just goes down. And they just sat there like they were afraid to breathe, afraid to move. And I'm going, what is wrong, right? What is wrong? I don't understand.
out with y'all.
What's wrong with y'all?
What's going
I was
on?
getting irritated. But and way in the back, a student did like this. I said, don't be scared.
Oh,
Somebody
no.
else tell me. And when the student said that, I had just had to stop in my tracks because I forgot that I brought all of this to the table. In that moment, I was standing there teaching. And so I was just conscious of I'm teaching what it's constitutional law. I'm teaching it. Why don't you get
Mhm.
it? And I'm just rattling. I'm going through places like, but I've been doing this for years and years and years.
Yeah.
So it it was instructional for me because it rolled me back and I changed how I was teaching.
Yeah.
And I said to them, never be afraid to speak up. If a
Hmm.
professor or an instructor is teaching something in a manner that you're not getting it, then
Hmm.
the professor should be intelligent enough to break it down to your level, wherever that may be,
Hmm.
and bring you back up where they want you to be. If
Hmm.
a professor
Yeah.
cannot do that, then they need to reconsider whether they're teaching.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was a teaching moment for me. It's like remember, remember, remember that you forgot more than most
Remember.
people ever know.
Remind me of Lion King. Remember. When Mufasa's in the sky. Remember. I actually wrote that at work. Because we're going into a new, our quarter just started in February. Our fiscal quarter just started in February. And I wrote that in the back. We have this little symbol thing that some kid left in the store, and I just put on a piece of cardboard. Remember, because sometimes you gotta remember,
Yeah.
just anything, in this situation, who you are, how you want to be portrayed, and how you want to get out what you want to say. Because you shouldn't change what you're saying because people don't understand it. You should change what you're saying in order for them to consume what you have to give. If you you wouldn't feed a kid food the same way you feed an adult. You wouldn't feed an adult the same way you would feed someone elderly. You wouldn't eat. There's people who don't have a lot of teeth don't eat the same thing people with teeth have.
Right. Right.
It's about consumption. It's about practicality. It's about applying things in a certain way. And I think that's very important, especially with us, just human beings in general. We go out to this world where everybody has their own. We talk so much about authenticity, so much about individuality, so much about choice, but we don't ever, I think, spend as much time to realize that it's still up to us. Like,
Oh
we
yeah.
talk about choice, we talk about options, we talk about things, but we don't really talk about the ability that we have for actual decision making. And realizing that everything and in every single moment is an actual decision about where the trajectory of not just our life and our livelihood, but our understanding of us, of life, of people, of all the things. I feel like a lot of people that are in situations where they want to I just labels. They want to label themselves an introvert or withdrawn or yeah, I don't like people and things like that. I think those people are people who are afraid to admit that they just don't get it either, and they're the people that's scared to raise that intellectual, that spiritual, that emotional hand to say, I'm not really understanding myself. So until I can do that, I can't share me with anybody else. How do I
Right.
give somebody in a bite sized form of a fraction that I can't even swallow? And if we don't dive back into ourselves and realize that we are the most important thing, the common denominator, the end all be all, in order to present anything at all. It's fine to be an introvert. It's fine to be reclusive. It's fine to withdraw, but not because you don't know how to be out there. Not because that's what you've chosen, because you don't even want to put forth the work to figure out who you are to be able to share it with somebody. You're valuable. You're perfect. This life doesn't go on without you. Everything changes if you don't exist. So why not? I want some of it. You know what I mean? I want a little piece of it. And if you choose not to share with me, that's fine. But do it because you don't want to, not because you don't know how to. And the way to do that is to get to know yourself. Get to know yourself and build up that energetic stamina around you so that you can start to attract those things in that actually belongs to you versus pushing everything out because you're not even sure what that is.
One of the most damaging things that we can do is label ourselves and embody the label. I, when I started this journey, this phase of the journey to discover who I am, I was looking at how I had shown up in those last years as a professor in my particular environment, and just looking at the fact that over time I began to tell myself stories about my limitations, which may or may not have been true, but I began to say, I can't do this because. And then as I delved into the research, trying to learn more about myself, the psychology, et cetera, I ran across the label imposter. And oh, that's what it is, imposter syndrome. In the moment when I did that and I understood how imposter syndrome was being described, initially it gave me a lot of relief because now I know I'm not crazy. I know that there is a label for this thing. And I held onto that label because now in my mind it explains some of the things that I was doing and some of the things why I was not doing certain things. But over time, as I continue to delve more into myself and the personal development work, I realized something really important for me. And this is the point that I'm getting to. I realized that when I discovered the label imposter syndrome, yes, it initially gave me relief, but then I held on to it. I wrapped up into it. I became the thing. I
Right.
became what imposter syndrome symbolizes. So rather than moving me forward on my personal development journey, it really just kind of locked in
Yeah.
place. And so when we think about labels like I'm an extrovert, there is a meaning associated with that word, says I'm supposed to be a certain way. When we think about introvert, there is a meaning, often a negative meaning. With introvert, there's a positive meaning, but the person may not feel that way all the time, but may feel because they've embodied that label, may feel that they have to be that way all the time.
Right.
There's a negative, many times negative energy associated with the word introvert, and when we wrap up into it, right, we limit ourselves because as an introvert I'm not supposed to like being around people, but that's not true because
That
sometimes I
is
do.
not true at all.
Sometimes it's the I just don't like being around you but I like people. And so my point is we become the thing that the label says we are. And what we need to, we being me, this is the way I moved with my own development. I decided I am no longer embracing that label. And what I
Right.
did is the thing that the label says, I began to look at, well, what constitutes, by their definition, what constitutes an imposter? Well, an imposter is someone who has achieved much, but who feels that they haven't achieved much at all. Okay, so now why do I feel that way? And then I begin to look at, oh, because I'm comparing myself externally to somebody else. I am trying to live according to somebody else's standard, which makes me feel less than. So, oh, what is the remedy for that? Well, the remedy for that is to turn inward and look at myself and look at what I have accomplished, and I become to the extent that there is competition, I become my own competitor rather than looking at you and letting something outside of me control who I be. And so I think
Yes.
that just what probably one of the most important things that a person can do is look at how are you labeling yourself. Oftentimes the meaning associated with those labels, the labels are externally driven, right? And they are a societal standard that you feel compelled to live up to, and you don't have to do that. You live up to your own standards, but you got to know, what are my standards, and separate that from what society says I should be.
Mm-hmm. It's the difference between, because let's be honest, label is just a description. It's just a descripting quality that we can classify people, put people in categories, all the things, all the separate the individual bubbles that we put everybody in. But the label itself is not the damaging part, because it's a matter of being a characteristic versus an identity. You don't have to assume the identity of an introvert. You can accept the characteristics of an introvert and say, this is why I am that way. Because some of the most outgoing and outspoken and very presentable people that I know are introverts. It's because they do withhold themselves in such a preserving way that when they do go out, they're able to like go out. But when it's done, it's over. You know, and I'm back inside. So that's a beautiful characteristic to have. Introverts are the same way. They're out so much, but when they do get that sweet time, that's when those things come to them. That's when they get the notions and the intuitions, because they've set themselves aside to have that quiet time. We have to allow the characteristics that we have to help empower us to be who we are, not bound us to be set in one form or fashion or the other, and certainly not let other people tell you what it is, because different people's definition of different things are different, because they've had different experiences with extroverts, introverts, black people, white people, Republican, Democrat, tall, short, men, women, gay, straight. It don't matter. It depends on what your experience it is with that particular label, that experience, that person, that culture, whatever that is. Don't allow that to be your definition, though. Sometimes they say, do as I say, not as I do, like, because, what's the other saying?
Just
Basically,
because.
because I said so. But it's basically when people say, learn from what I did so you don't have to go through it. That don't work with everything. That works with things that are against the law. That works legally, but energetically and experimentally, sometimes it doesn't work that way. You can go off of what they say in order to broaden your information on the subject, but you can't go off what they say solely to make your decision about how you're going to move forward. You got to be able to, again, like we was just talking about, know yourself well enough to know that there's a choice that has to be made, that can be made, that needs to be made. And not just one time, but over and over again. Because the choice I make today, I may wake up tomorrow and I can change my fucking mind. And can't nobody say nothing about it, because I'm the only one that's going to live with my consequences. I'm the only one that knows me like I know me. And if I do something, there's three things that I will never do again. And that's defend, because sometimes I recorded something about this the other day. I think I may have talked about this, but a lot of times we try to defend the things that we do. Sometimes we try to deflate the things that we do. I think that's where I got stuck the most, is defending the things
Yeah.
that, I mean, not defending, but deflating things. We know we're good at something. We know we're the best at this. We know what we're talking about. But we want to deflate ourselves because we don't think people are going to believe
Yeah.
us. We don't think people are going to be behind us. We don't think people are going to invest in us. We don't think people are going to even listen or try to take the time to understand it. And we get caught up in all this rationalization again, like you were talking about earlier, those stories and the we got whole stage plays in our mind. I mean, I got called the other day because I was talking about I sometimes I go on Zoom. Y'all, a lot of people know that I go on Zoom to do study halls, even if it's by myself, because it still keeps me accountable because I'm recording myself doing nothing when I'm doing nothing, and it triggers my brain to be like, look at you. Just look at you doing. It's you doing nothing. And I caught myself the other day. I was just steady studying. I found myself having this conversation in my mind, and next thing you know, my neck was like,
Oh, that is delicious. That is rich, as they say.
I'm talking about the other people, the people that's watching this right now. Just a reel of me doing this. But a lot of that comes from deflating, and in my mind, I'm trying to talk my way around what I know so that it don't offend people when I gotta tell them how it is. And we gotta get away from those things. Those things are detriment to our authenticity. It's detrimental to our individuality. We have to say the things. We have to live out the things. We have to unapologetically make the decisions. This is me and Monique was talking today. This is the only moment we have. This is the only day we have. This choice right here that's in front of us is the only choice that matters because it's going to be the trajectory of every other choice to come. So spend time with this one and make sure you're filtering it through the way you feel, not what you hear, not what you're hearing up here either. Neither one of those is going to be quantitative of the next step that you make. How do you feel? And when you think of it, do you cringe and be like, oh, here we
Yeah.
go? Or do you say, I can do this. I got this. I'm feeling this. But I know with me anyway, sometimes I'll let that knee jerk reaction to do something fade away with all the things that come up after, all the things, the narratives that starts, all the that starts in my head. That's right after that. So yeah, I think that's all I got on that. Man, I done spent that one to death. But yeah, I just seriously, even in my own head, I've spent that thing to death. To the point to where you ever just start to get on your own nerves. You're like,
Oh yeah.
God,
Oh
dog.
yeah. Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You just start to get on your nerves. Like, make a decision already. Make it and stick by it. And know that in any moment you can change your mind. I was telling Monique, it's like there's not a decision or not a choice that you can make that can't get closer to you if that's the way you're moving.
Yeah.
If that's the way you're moving, it's gonna get closer and closer. Make a decision and watch it get closer and closer. And as it go, it'll fine tune things. You don't ever get on the road and there's a roadblock and you're like, well, this is the road I choose. I'm gonna plow into it. Boom. No, you go around it. You don't throw you off your course. It may make you 5 minutes later. Hell, depending on the turn you take, it may make you 5 minutes sooner. But you can't let the things and the obstacles and the different options in your course change the course of what you want to go to. And a lot of people are like, you don't know that because last week I wanted to do this and this week I want to do this. I can bet you one thing didn't change. You want to be happy. You
Yeah.
want to be peaceful. Be more honest about what you're looking for. Because you say you want to be in retail, but now this week you want to be an entrepreneur. What you want is financial freedom. What you want is a
Exactly.
peace of mind. What you
Exactly.
want is to be fulfilled. Be honest about, and then you can embrace those changes that come so rapidly because you're still on the right course. Because anything will do if it makes you happy. Anything will do if it gives you financial freedom. A lot of people think financial freedom is $1 billion. Financial freedom could just be not having no bills to pay.
Yeah.
Financial
Yeah.
freedom could be winning a scholarship to go overseas to volunteer for 6 months. Financial freedom could be building a business that you live in the top of in a high rise and the business that you sitting and sleeping on or paying everything for you.
Yeah.
We try to define things so much by how everybody else describes financial freedom and what wealth is and what health is. When really we need to take our reins off of them and say, I want to be free. I want to
Yeah.
be loved. I want to be happy. I want to be stable. I want to be secure. I want to know. And we can do all those things without all the stipulations that we put on it. Okay, now I really gonna be to
Good. That's really good. That is really good. Um, it's let's see. I got so much from that. I I'm going to make some points, and they seem like random points, but they are connected
Oh
with
no, go yeah, make them.
what we've been talking about. So one thing that I wanted to make a point about is communication, whether it is with ourselves or with someone else. What is your end goal? Are you just wanting to talk? Are you wanting that person to actually hear you? Are you wanting to have a communication? Communication, effective communication is a two-way process. It is you have a message that you speak to someone, they receive it. If your language is not, if they can't access your language, however you language it, then you're never going to have effective communication. And so
Mm-hmm.
if you speak in a way that, whether you're using words that they don't know or you're saying it with an energy that is different from your wording, the message that they receive is not going to be the message that you intend. But as the
Mm-hmm.
sender of the message, it is your responsibility. If you want to have effective communication, it is your responsibility to, I'm not going to say dumb down, although in some cases it is dumbing down. I really am.
It is.
It's your responsibility to adjust to your person, to the receiver's level, whatever that,
Right.
if you want to have effective communication. Now, if you don't care, you just want to put what you got to say out there, it doesn't matter whether they get it or not. But be clear in your own mind about, well, what is my end goal? So that's one thing I
Right.
wanted to say. The
Mm-hmm.
other thing I want, another thing I wanted to say about the label is that oftentimes the labels that we, I like the distinction that you made between labeling and traits. And
Oh yeah.
oftentimes we embody the label, and we have the energy is very restrictive because we're not doing a self-assessment. We're just taking what somebody else is saying about us or how they perceive us, rather than sitting with ourselves and making an analysis of, or evaluating, who am I?
Yeah.
What am I in this?
Mm-hmm.
And who you are has nothing to do with who they say you are. You see, that's where the trouble comes in, when you internalize what they, whoever that they is, what they say about you, and you try to take that on. That's when you begin to feel inadequate, less than, no self-esteem, low self-worth, because you are looking external to yourself and embodying what someone else said. If you
Mm-hmm.
are looking internally, then you know, hell, I am great just because I am created in the creator's image, and I don't
You
need
got
any
that
image.
right.
Period. That's it. I'm
Yes.
great. And but society teaches us that, some religions, y'all, we get caught up in the religion, and many of these religions are talking about your sinful nature. Don't judge me. I'm just saying my perspective. Your sinful nature, lower than a snake. Da, 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 da. No,
Not a snake.
you know what I'm talking about. Like, no, I I was talking to a friend some time ago, and I said, "You're this, and this," and he said, "I don't receive that. I'm not accepting that. That is no, that's not who I am." So you
Yeah.
can say whatever you want. I am not receiving that. And I think that
Yeah.
we need to stand up for ourselves, and people can say whatever they want, but you put that shield on, I'm not receiving that. That
Got that
doesn't
right.
affect, I know who I am, right? But it
You
does
got that
require
right.
you to know who you are, to know who you are. And so I wanted to make that point. And then there was one other thing I wanted to say. It'll come back to me. But
Yeah.
don't let anybody else define who you are. You get to define that. Hold tight to that. That's where your power lies.
That
Not
is.
when you allow someone else's description of you to, when you embody it, when you become the thing that they say you are, you're giving up all of your power. And I urge you, fight for it. Fight for it. That is your right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know what I was going
Yeah.
to say related to this.
Uh-oh,
I
she
was
laughing.
I was having a conversation with a friend today, and the conversation started like this. Am I a bad person because
Oh God.
am I a bad person because I don't want to talk to XYZ? And I said, I stopped her before she finished even the sentence. I said, I know what you're going to ask me. Are you a bad person because you don't want to talk to her? Just put it out there. You don't like her. You don't like her. why why are you trying to make, she said, no, no, you don't like her, and that's why you don't want to talk to her. And now you are asking you want me to tell you that you're not a bad person, which you know you're not a bad person, but you don't want to admit the truth of the fact that you just don't like this person. But here's the deal, you don't have to like her,
Don't
and you
have
don't
to.
like her because she likes you. You don't have to be friends with her.
Mm-mm.
You don't have to want to
Yeah.
talk to her because she wants to talk to you. And here's the thing, you don't have to justify it. You don't have to
Yeah.
justify it. It's like you don't have to ask somebody else, are you being a bad person, or are you being a good person for whatever you do? The reality is, if you don't like a person, you just don't like them. My mama used to say, my spirit just don't agree with that person, and I'm going to treat them with a long handle spoon. I said, Mama, what that mean? I'm
Uh-huh.
in your room. Plenty of room.
Yeah.
The fact that a person is calling in on your phone, you don't have to answer it. Or if you answer it, you don't have to stay on the phone. You don't have to like people. And we tell, this is a part of the story, the internal narrative. I don't want to be rude. Well, you don't have to be rude. You
Yeah, no.
can
No,
and if
you
it's
don't.
a person, you don't have to stop and talk to that person. Now, I'm not saying be ugly, be rude, but you don't have to you don't have to pretend, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
Pretending to like somebody and standing in their energy. No, do you know how depleting that is? That's
Extremely.
depleting. No, don't do that. And then that goes back to the label. If you tell yourself I'm a bad person, or whatever you tell yourself, that depletes your energy. Same as if you tell yourself I'm an introvert, that depletes your energy. Stop attaching yourself to these labels that take your energy. I am who I am. I am so multifaceted. You catch me today, like earlier today, I told my friend, I don't have capacity to talk with people. To right now in this moment, I'm not adulting and I'm not peopling. So I can't do it. And I ain't ashamed of it, and I have nothing to regret. Right? I'm not embarrassed by it. I go through phases. This morning I wasn't peopling, but I am so excited, y'all, to be here peopling with Carrie tonight, because we always have such fun, right? And she energizes me. So here's the thing: does the interaction energize you in a positive way?
Yeah. Or deplete you. Oof.
Okay, I'm taking a break.
No, right there, that's the sweet spot right there. You have to ask yourself. And a lot of us do not want to be honest about that question. Because your kids deplete you, your spouse deplete you, your job depletes you, your pastor depletes you, the first lady depletes you, the grandkids deplete you, the mailman coming, knocking on the door and depleted you because you done got depleted from everything else and you can't take another knock on the door.
True that. True.
That doesn't deplete you to the point that it becomes a problem if you take the time to take care of yourself in the interims. Withdraw. Like today, when I was going live, the whole point was to tell people, if this ain't the second that you take a pause from your day, please pause it somewhere. And I don't care how long it is, I don't care how deep it is, and I don't care what you got to say to get it. But in your day, every day, there has to be a time where there's no noise, not even your own thoughts, to where you can just be still and be silent and listen to nothing. And if nothing come in that space, just enjoy the silence. A lot of us want
Mm-hmm.
to get the download and we want to get the God said to me. No, some God is very subtle, and it needs space, and we think that these little small little trinkets and stuff like that isn't God because we don't hear an audible voice, or we don't get direct instruction, or we don't get a chill down our spine or our hair standing up. Just the presence alone is sacred for you to be still enough to say, I don't need it.
What does
I
it
don't
say?
need
Be
a
still.
voice in order to hear or to feel. I don't need direction to know. How many times, for instance, if you have a dream and you know you woke up at 5:30 a.m. You wake up at 5:30 a.m. and you go to the bathroom and then you get back in the bed at 5:35. You go back to sleep. You wake up, it's 5:40. You had a 5-minute dream and it take you 2 hours to explain it to somebody. Words do not matter when it comes to integrating or relaying what you just know. Sometimes
Yeah.
you just know things. And like she was wanting the validation that she don't like somebody. She's trying to rationalize it, trying to get a reason for it, make it make more sense to her. Sometimes things aren't gonna make sense. Sometimes your next move won't make sense. But when you know it in your knower, no one can tell you different. And you should stop trying to convince people to validate what you can't even explain to yourself. But you
She
gotta
said.
know it. And the way, huh? What?
She said that. She said you just cut right to the core, didn't you? Hey, let's just call it
So
what it
wrong
is.
about that? Do you want to hurt her? No. Do you want to do bad to her? No. Do you even wish harm on her? No. Leave her where she at though. Why can't we just leave people where they are? And a lot of times we try to fix things, mend things, being things into things that they don't even have to be done to. If you just leave well enough alone, well enough will stop finding you. But a lot of us talk so much about fucked up situations that fucked up situations, and I know Dr. Sue trying not to cuss y'all, so make like I ain't saying fuck, okay? But think of it this way. Think of it as you go through this next week. It's a good time. And today's Saturday. You got a practice day tomorrow. Super Bowl Sunday. We're probably going to be around some people. You're probably going to be around, people you probably don't be around a lot. Because, sports is one of the things that bring groups together that don't typically be together sometimes, right? Try this week. Think of Think of the fact that you got a little box. Just make like you got a little box. A little Bluetooth box in your pocket at all times. A little Bluetooth box. So y'all know how like say Wi-Fi signals and stuff work, right? And you ping off of things, and that's how things find you. Like you don't try to get away from no crime. I watch enough crime TV. I ain't gonna give you no tips, but
It pings off of itself.
you're not gonna get away with CCTV and Wi-Fi. You're not gonna get away with it. Stay straight, all right. But for comparison's sake, think of this as a tracking device, right? So every time you think a thought, you are putting in coordinates. And the coordinates that you put in with your thoughts, your decisions, the things you say, and the people you interact with is putting coordinates into this box of yours. And every time you put those coordinates into your box, the things that are like that coordinate now knows where to find you.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you talk frustration all day, guess what's pinging? Frustration. If you're talking defeat all day, guess what's pinging? Defeat. If you're talking despair all day, guess what's pinging? Despair. And as you do this, those lights light up. It lights up and saying despair is here. Despair is here. Defeat is here. Defeat is here. And just you have this visual of defeat. Defeat never is going anywhere. Defeat will always exist. And it's always in the energetic realm waiting to ping and say, someone's calling defeat. Zoom! And it's straight for you. And the more you do it, and it gets there, it's saying, she's still pinging. I need backup. More defeat. More
Oh,
defeat.
I love
More
this.
defeat. Defeat she's still thinking about. I need more defeat. You gotta change your thought process. You gotta change your pinging. You gotta change your point of attraction by what you say, what you think. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. It well, I tell you that, I mean, that's not true. It does if you let it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But don't nobody, I repeat, nobody has control over your point of attraction but you.
Yeah.
Because you can say, get out of here. You can say, I don't want to talk to you. And find whatever articulate way you need to find it. But when you approach situations as if what Dr. Sue's saying with one of her friends, we don't mean to do it. But we enter confusion into our lives by trying to justify why we feel certain things instead of saying, I trust you. I wish them well. I have nothing but love for them. But I ain't got to be around them.
Yeah.
It ain't doing shit for me. Not to me. It ain't doing shit for them either. The best
Yeah.
thing you can do for someone you don't like is don't be around them.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do, and the best thing you can do from you, is to not be around them too. And I know it makes it, leave sight. Oh, wait, cancel. Ooh, girl, I'm about to close the whole live. But
Well,
yeah,
the thing
yeah, go
is,
ahead, too.
if you don't like them, then energetically they feel that you don't like them. The energy is off. When two people like each other, there is a positive, like an electricity between them.
It
And when
is.
two people don't like each other, there is almost a
Friction.
energetic barrier there. That no matter, even, have you ever hugged somebody and it was like a wet noodle? You didn't
Uh-huh.
like you. They didn't want to hug you, but they did because
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason, like they felt like they had to. But then you just feel like, ooh, I wish you hadn't.
Yucky.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So everybody know when the other person don't like them,
Yeah.
why pretend? It's like,
So what's the
no,
point?
I'm good.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm a hugger, but yeah, you can definitely feel that. Especially when you have spent that time a long time. Not as an introvert, but as an energetic being. You have to charge your cell phone. I gotta charge my computer. I have to plug the TV in to see it. I have to flip the switch. We are all connected to this source. But depending on what the position that we're in of how much power we get through it. Because
Mhm.
just because cut this light off, the switch off, doesn't mean there's not still power surging.
Right, right, right.
We have to make sure our positioning is right so that energy can flow smoothly and not over exert us. Because sometimes it can be too much. That's when we get in ego, we get these little instinctual things and we know these things and now we feel like we gotta let everybody know we know. When only thing we really gotta do is just know.
Yeah.
There's no word again. It's going back to the dream, the brilliant dream, the beautiful dream. But the more words you put to it, the more you realize they're never gonna get it.
Right, right,
They're
right.
not gonna see it. You can't put colors into words. There's probably colors in your dream that you can't even say. I don't know if it was green or blue, but I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is about that connection. And when you're in position, so that when you go out in the world, you don't have to fake hug. Because you feel the energy beforehand. You can fist bump, elbow knock, chin lift, deuces and leave, whatever it is. But I'm out of here. But there's nothing that needs to be said when you're operating from that even flow of energy so that you can receive the communication and deliver an instinct. Simple. Things get so much more simple when you spend that time, the uncomfortable time sometimes even, in that silent place by yourself, getting to know who you are and what you like and what you don't like, so that when you go out into the world, however often or seldom it is, you don't have to second guess what you feel
Yeah,
because you spent most of the time in silence, so you know that when it comes, that is for real. It's
yeah.
not the chatter anymore. It's for real.
I like to sit. This is throughout my house, I have different little locations that I do different things in.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the sitting area of my bedroom, right? And so I'll sit here, I turn the lights off, and I put my soft meditation music on. And I just sit. And my purpose isn't to, I don't say like, oh, I'm going to meditate or no, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
and be. I'm just going to sit and be. And I'm not
Yeah.
thinking about anything other than I'm just going to sit and be.
Yeah.
And
It's the
I don't have a
best.
time limit in terms of how long I'm going to be here. I'm not trying to do. The one thing I am conscious of is not, you can't stop yourself from thinking, but you can stop yourself from going down into the rabbit hole or
Yeah.
ruminating on it. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just sitting, just sitting.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
I have trained myself so that when I sit here, like this is a happy spot for me. And then I have another room that I go into. It's like in there, I know that I'm going to meditate or meditate. And sometimes I use it as my recording area. But when I go into my office, which is in another part of the house, when I go in there, it's like I'm full speed ahead. We are PhD mode, we are lawyer mode, we are into it, right? I think that you don't have to have a big space, but it is valuable to train yourself so that certain spaces conveys, well, say to your brain, when I'm here, this is what I'm doing. And over
Mm-hmm.
time, it, you don't have to think so much about, oh, I'm going to sit and meditate, or I'm just going to sit and be. Just begin to know. I now this is a space that I say when I'm sitting here, I am keeping a divine appointment. We keep
Yeah.
appointments to go to the doctor, we keep appointments to go to all these other things. This is a divine appointment with myself. I'm not answering the phone, I'm not looking at the computer, I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm just sitting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's the best. And you
Yeah,
start to crave it. It's like going back to the charging dock. It's like
yeah.
going back to the charging dock when you need to be plugged back in. Now again, not that it's not always flowing, but sometimes you need that direct line to just be still. And sometimes to upload, to download things. Don't be so frustrated if your mind's going wild. It's probably things that need to get out anyway. So that you don't carry them into the next episode or you don't factor them into the next decision. Allow them to go, but watch them. Don't become part of them. Don't participate in the chatter. But when you start to hear those dialogues and those things and those versions of yourself coming out, be like, dang, I didn't even realize that was in there. Huh.
And that really,
She did what? Oh, yeah.
that's what mindfulness is about. Being mindful is just allowing whatever comes up to come up without judging and without attaching yourself to it and without going into a rabbit hole or,
Right.
we have a thought and we think, oh, I need to go to the store. Oh yeah, and I need to buy this, and yeah, I'm going to go here. No, 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 no. I need to go to the store. Oh, okay. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. That's
I'll
it.
figure out when I get there. You know, some people I get caught up on that too with lists. For instance, today I asked a friend. I said, "What do you want anything from Sprouts?" Because that's where I do my grocery shopping. And I never did make the list because there were certain things I wanted to put in the cart, and I knew if I just went ahead and hit send, I would be getting the stuff I needed right now. But I end up paying 2 delivery fees because I know it's not going to be all that I need because I need stuff for grocery next week. Me and Kim, I work with Kim. This is Kim right here. Hey Kim, but we were just talking the other day about how much we need to start bringing our stuff to work. I was talking to Monique about the same thing. How we need to start being more conscious of what we put in our body because
Yeah.
what happens is what we put first tends to dictate what the rush decisions that we make versus taking the time to make the decisions of what's important so when we get in a situation where things are rushed we are prepared, just like you're talking about with the spaces in your house. If you stay ready you don't have to get ready. If you know this is your meditation space, keep it in indicative of a meditation space so that when you get in those moments and life throws you those things and I'm frustrated, your space is ready for you.
Right,
It
right.
never changed. So all you got to do is get there and sit and be still. But we got to
Yeah,
create those spaces in our mind too, because we may not be at home. We may not be in a place
right.
where we can just be quiet and be still. We have to create those things in our mind so that, for instance, when you leave the house, I bet you got a charge at work. I bet you got a charge in your car. I bet you got a charge at your best friend's house or your hookup boo thing house. You got a charge everywhere you go. What about this? What about
Hmm.
this? What about this? What are you doing to recharge you? Literally, you. Are you exercising? Are you eating correctly? Are you getting rest? Are you reading? Are you learning? Are you studying? Are you spending yourself? These things need to be filtered into your everyday and take care of like you said, multifaceted. Be multifaceted with yourself. We have to. We have to in every area of our life. If we stay ready, we don't have to get ready. So in those times that we are thrown to the wolves and things come up that we weren't prepared for, we still have the reservoir of energy because we've been doing it on a consistent basis. So even if you can't get to your quiet space, you can close your eyes and be there
Yeah.
and pull from those reserves that you've always had.
And I think that
Because John,
one of the easiest things to do relative to what you're just saying, become conscious of the breath. The breath is healing. And so often because of the way God made us, we don't have to think about breathing. But if you learn how to use your breath, that is the quickest way. If you're in a stressful situation, breath is the easiest and quickest way to bring you back to a state of groundedness,
absolutely.
regardless of whether you can go somewhere else or not. You're gonna still, hopefully, you're gonna still be breathing. So just learn how to use your breath effectively. And you
Yeah.
don't have to explain to anybody what you're doing. You just I do this thing with my breathing that I just naturally go when I get stressed about something. I just naturally find myself breathing in that way without having I've been doing it so long. I don't have to tell
Yeah.
myself. My body now recognizes the signals and my brain just automatically shifts to that. And that's what we want to do. I know the point that I was going to make earlier that I couldn't remember. When we think about extroversion, being an extrovert and being an introvert, it is important to think about that in the context of energy because it really isn't about people, it's about how you recharge. An extrovert is one that recharges from something externally. An introvert is one that goes within. But both of them have to do with what is the energy? How are you getting the energy that you need to recharge your own battery?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and we didn't know, and I just knowing thyself. I talked to a girl earlier about just knowing yourself. We were talking something about eating habits, and I don't know, I can't remember exactly what prompted me to say it, but it's the beginning to the untethered soul. To thine own self be true, and that way you can't be false to any man. Because if you're true to yourself, you can change yourself 50 times in one day, and you still ain't lied to nobody. You'll never have to tell another lie if you're true to yourself. It may be true today and not true tomorrow, but it's always you being true to you. And
Absolutely.
that's what truly matters, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. But we have to be careful to know that the one thing will always be us. Period.
I agree. And related to that, so don't be surprised, is the fact that when you are being true to yourself, many times the people that are in your environment will try to force you to be something else. And the
Who
something
won't they?
else that they try to force you to be is consistent with their beliefs about who you should be and how you should be, because that is what they can see for themselves. They can't see for you what they can't see for themselves. I used to have someone tell me, you can't change because you said X, Y, Z. Well, when I was young and dumb and didn't know any better, I thought, well, that right. I mean, this is as a teenager and a young adult. I thought that I'm supposed to be this way because this is the way I was yesterday. Yet at the same time, my brain is saying, but it's a new day.
In
Now
the
I have
day.
more information. Now I
Mm-hmm.
know that there's another way that I can be. So anymore, Number one, I hadn't had that kind of conversation with a person in a long time. But number two, if I did, I would come back to what Carrie is saying. I can change every day, all day, because this is being true to me, not you.
Mhm.
I am my
Mhm.
own measure maker. I am my
Yeah.
own standard setter, and I get to decide
Mhm.
what's
Yeah. I was doing a live one day. I was about to do a live one day, and I accidentally locked myself out of my car, locked myself out of my car. I had my
right.
key fob. It was the last car I think it was yeah, it was the last car I had, and the key fob stopped working. And I was hitting the thing, and the car wouldn't unlock. And I just busted out laughing because it was raining. I was at the gas station. I was under this awning, and I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to get. I'm like, how the hell am I gonna get in the car? But the thing that I realized is, I got so used to something being convenient that I forgot that there's a manual way to do everything. Yeah. It was so true to me that I couldn't get into my car, that I couldn't see that I could. And we get like that as energetic beings. We feel like because we've been married, then we got to stay married. We feel like because
Yes.
we've been in retail, we got to stay in retail. We feel like because we've been big, we got to stay big. We feel like because we've been sad, we got to stay sad. Because we've been sick, we got to stay sick. No, you don't. No, you don't. We all preach from the mountaintops. Change is the only constant. But as soon as things start changing, we're like, I don't know what to, what?
Like
Or when
roll
things
with
are
it.
stagnant, we forget that change is a constant. We act like change can't happen for us. But yet we say it's the only constant. No, you have to be a willing participant in the changes you want to see. What Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. That shit is true. Because if I want a six pack, I guarantee you these ain't gonna help.
No.
And I know that to be a fact. So if I want to change my physique and what I look like, I have to change what I put into this physique, what I put into this body. I have to play an active role in the evidence that I want to see in my own life.
Yep.
I feel like we wrapping up. We've been out here for an hour and 7 minutes, we've been talking. My mouth dry. I don't know if y'all seen it earlier, but go back and watch the replay. When I took a sip of this, I realized that this water was spoiled. Boy, I about spit this shit everywhere. I played it so cool. I
Yeah, you
said,
did.
I played it so cool. That shit was so nasty.
Yeah, you did.
Oh man! So what's your final word, Susu? I don't think I really have anything. I feel so complete. This was a good, great conversation. One I hope everybody takes with them throughout this next week. Make sure that you are knowing that everything that you put into the ethers, whether it's through words or through thought or through actions, you are setting your point of attraction at every moment. Please know that no one else is putting any input into here. No
Yeah.
one. You're the only one. You are in full control. It's all you.
Oh, do I have anything to supersede or add on to that? That would be a no. Love y'all.
That's it. That's it.
Hi,
Well, hey, join us again next time we pop up. We tell you we ain't sending out no more notifications. If you want to see us when we go live, please hit subscribe first and foremost. If you ain't already subscribed, I don't know where the button is. It's around there somewhere. But hit the notification so that when we go live, y'all will get it. Y'all will see it. And y'all would know that when
Wow.
we are live and y'all can come and we want to hear from you. We want to hear your opinion. We want to hear everything you have to say. We want to hear your stories, what you're going through, all the things. And I will ask this too. Put into the comments if you don't mind. We ain't gonna stay long enough to read them all. We about to click end stream right now. Put in the comments one thing that you know that you about you that you plan on actively integrating into your life. Something
Yeah,
you know about you. Go ahead, Kasu.
I want to apologize, y'all. I ain't
Uh
telling none of
oh.
Carrie's business. I didn't tell any of her business. I'll catch y'all up next time.
Don't be out here telling my business now. Don't be telling my business. Don't tell him. Don't tell him. Oh my God. Bye. Y'all have a good night. Until next time, let whatever comes up come out. And we'll see y'all next time. Bye.